Yo, what's up, and welcome back to another video here. And we just got done watching episode 2 of House of the Dragon, and it was such a good episode, I gotta say. Didn't have really any action or killing, violence, blood, gore, sex. It didn't really have any of that. And yet it was such a good episode, and that's just the testament to how well this show tells the story, really, and how it played out. So just a testament to the writers, the characters, the actors the development of the characters and everything like that. It was really, really good. So yeah, top-notch storytelling at its best. Really got to say, great storytelling. So we had the king, who it's roughly been about 6 months since the first episode where the queen died, giving birth to his son, and the son also died, his heir. So they named Rhaenyra. Man, I struggle with her name every time. Rhaenyra. They named her, I think that's, oh my gosh, I'm messing it up. But anyway, they name her the heir. And everybody bends the knee and swears allegiance to her as the next heir. Even though, no woman has ever sat on the Iron Throne up to this point, and it's almost considered like it'll never happen, even though we've kind of gone through the motions to name Rhaenyra, the heir. No one, everyone's kind of like, well, he needs to get remarried. The king needs to get remarried. So the whole episode, everybody, the council, everybody's putting pressure on the King Viserys to get remarried. And Corlys Velaryon offers up his daughter, who, we'll get to that in a minute. But anyway, he offers up his daughter as a kind of like a political move or a political marriage to unite the houses, unite House Targaryen and House Velaryon, and create that strength and power, and show the kingdom is strong and not vulnerable, because the king's still mourning his wife and everything. So anyway, Corlys Velaryon offers up his daughter Lana, I think. I forget her name, but I think that was it. Offers her up to be the king's next wife. And you're like, all right, whatever. That might be a good move. The king asks for some advice and everything. Everybody's like, yeah, it's a good move, man. You should do it. Basically, it's all good. And then it cuts to the scene of the king walking off with this little girl, little white-haired girl. And you're like, okay, what's going on here? And even me, I was like, at first I'm like, well, okay, whatever. And then no, that can't be her. That can't be Corlys's daughter. She's the one he's going to marry. It's this little 12-year-old girl. And you're like, damn. What is going on? So yeah, it was Lana, or however you say her name. She was the little girl that the king's supposed to marry. And you're like, damn, what's, I mean, these are, it's a fantasy show, and this is, the old times where that sort of thing happened, to where it's more like for appearances rather than, like love or anything. But still, it was like cringe. But anyway, even the king wasn't really for it. He's like, she's young, dude. Like, you could tell the whole episode he wasn't feeling it. So anyway, and Lena, she just starts saying stuff, and you could tell it was like rehearsed. Her parents told her. Even the king asked her. He's like, "Did your father tell you to say that?" And what she said was something about like, "I can give you many, have many kids, basically, give you a lot of babies, basically, and we'll give you a son." Basically, is what she said in so many words. I forget how she worded it exactly, but that's basically what she said. And even the king's like, and he's like, your father told you to say that? And he's like, what'd your mother tell you to say? And she's like, well, my mother said that I don't have to bed you until I'm 14 or something like that, or of age or something like that. And even still, you're like, cringe. Like, damn. And anyway, I was like, cringe, like, what the fuck moment. But anyway, you could tell the king wasn't feeling it. So while all that's going on, Daemon, the king's brother, a badass, probably my favorite character already, yeah. Or Rhaenyra. Like, I really like her too. The actress who plays her, she does a really good job. Like, I'm really impressed. Like, I like her too. She's a badass. Oh, and actually, before we get to Damon, let's talk about her because at the beginning of the episode, she's just been named heir, and so now she feels like she's got to try to, get her voice heard, start giving opinion or her opinion, or you know what I mean. Like they're in the council, she's the cupbearer, she's filling all their cups, listen to what they're talking about, and then she tries to, chirp in and give a suggestion. Corlys is like wanting to go attack the Crab King and take him out because uh, he's basically taking control of I forget what it's called, but like the shipping lanes and the shipping port or whatever. I could be messing up something like that. I'm still processing it all and learning all the lingo and learning everything. So anyway, the Crab King's all doing that, and Corlys wants to go in there, wipe him out, retake it, get control back over the shipping lanes and all that shit because they've like destroyed like 4 of the king's ships already or whatever, or Corlys' ships. Anyway, so Rhaenyra tries to chirp in and say, "Yeah, we got the dragons, let's go," basically. And they're like, hey, you should calm down, girl, pipe down. You go, and the king's like, yeah, let's go, let her go pick the next King's Guard, give her that assignment. Well, us men, we'll figure everything out here to do with that. So, so Rhaenyra kind of like, oh, they still just treat me like I'm a, little girl, basically, even though I'm the next heir and I'm going to try to, be a good ruler and good leader and try to come up with a solution here. So anyway, she goes, picks the next King's Guard, and all of them have no battle experience except, Cole, what's his name? Criston Cole. So she's at first, all the different knights are coming up, and they're like, this guy won this tournament, and he won this tourney, and he won this tourney. And she's like, who has any real experience? And then Criston Cole comes up, and he's the only one who's ever actually seen any real combat. And plus, I'm pretty sure she's got the hots for him. So anyway, she picks Criston Cole to be the next King's Guard, and that's basically her first official kind of thing she does as a ruler, basically. So even though everybody's like, doesn't really consider it a big deal, that's why they gave it to her. So anyway, even Otto, the King's Hand, was trying to tell her, like, pick somebody with a more reputable name and, comes from a better house. And she's like, man, none of them are any good. Like, don't we need somebody with real experience to protect the king? And they're all like, yeah, I mean, I think so. So anyway, it was a good pick, Criston Cole. So then Daemon, get to him now. He sneaks in, steals a dragon's egg, which I guess it's a Targaryen tradition to have a dragon egg in the cradle of your newborn, in their cradle. I don't know, I guess it's their tradition or whatever, as the next heir, kind of like a show of power, type of thing. So anyway, Daemon kind of sets this whole little thing up where he steals the egg, tells everybody he's having a baby with his girl, and that's what's really hilarious about this show, because everybody's like, well, who's Daemon's saying he's gonna marry this woman, and everybody's like, well, who's this woman Daemon's gonna marry? And that's Daemon's whore. It's just hilarious, the whole episode, your whore, and all this shit. So anyway, Daemon lied, he wasn't having a baby, he was just basically trying to piss the king off, provoke him. Which it does. The king gets really pissed about that because he steals the egg, specifically the egg that was supposed to be in the cradle for the king's son that died. It was in his cradle for one day, before the baby died. So anyway, it had that significance, and Daemon knew that and purposely stole that egg to piss the king off even more. So it's all just one big one big act to provoke the king, and piss him off, basically. So it does. And at first the king's like, that's it, I'm going down there, I'm gonna get Daemon, drag his ass back up here to the to the kingdom and make him face justice. And he's about to storm off and go get Daemon, and Otto, the King's Hand's like, no, it's too dangerous, man, it could be a trap or whatever, let me go, I'll go handle it, I'll go get Daemon and kick him out and bring him back up here to face justice. And so Otto heads down there. Daemon comes out on the wall to meet him on the wall. Otto's got his guys behind him. Daemon's got his yellow cloaks behind him. And, they're kind of bickering back and forth. And Otto's like, you and your host abomination and all this shit. And Daemon's like, what, man? Bring it, dude. Do something. So they draw their swords and they're about to just duke it out and kill each other. Both of them are like, you ain't gonna survive this. And Otto's like, well, you're gonna go down too. So they draw their swords, they're about to fight, and all of a sudden Daemon's dragon, boom, lands on the fucking perch behind him. And Otto's like, oh shit, like, put your swords away. I think he says something about like, sheathe your fucking steel or something like that. And they're all like, okay, put their swords away, because they know now with the dragon there, Daemon's dragon, they don't stand a chance. Like, they gotta retreat, get the fuck out of there. So just kind of as all that's happening, all of a sudden in the clouds, you hear this and it's like, oh shit, whoosh, another fucking dragon comes out of the clouds, and then you're like, oh shit, what the fuck's going on? Now we got two dragons. And all of a sudden you realize, oh shit, it's Rhaenyra. She's on her dragonfly, and then boom, lands and fucking saves the day. She jumps off. And being Daemon's niece, she's basically one of the only people on the entire planet who can reason with Daemon, because Daemon still loves his family, even though they're kind of the problem. You know, it's his brother, the king, and now his niece, Rhaenyra. And so he loves them, and yet he has this conflict of like, Daemon wants to be the next heir. He wants to be king, you know what I'm saying? So he's basically got to get his brother and the niece out of the way, but still loves him. So anyway, Rhaenyra is the only one who can really kind of reason with him. So she does. They kind of work it out. Daemon's kind of like, all right, and whatever. Fucking throws the egg back at her and gives in, kind of, because it's his niece. I mean, what the fuck are you gonna do? You ain't gonna kill your own niece unless you're just really fucking pissed off. Which to this point, Daemon isn't. Maybe one day he will be, but right now, he gives in. So all that happened. Rhaenyra returns back to the king. He's pissed because she went off by herself with the dragon all the way to Dragonstone, you know. And, Rhaenyra's trying to show that she can do shit. She's like her, you know, even the king says, you're so much like your mother, because that's something her mother would do. So anyway, then they, kind of talk about the king getting married, and Rhaenyra's like, all right, basically, I'm cool with whatever you want to do, Dad. And the king's like, all right. But then, throughout the episode, you keep seeing the king and Alicent. And you're like, even I was like, something's going on here. The king seems like he really likes Alicent, but he's talking about marrying Valerian daughter. But I don't. And even at one point, he's asking people like, well, what if I reject the offer of, Valerians? And they're like, that might not be a good idea. You'll probably make an enemy out of Corlys, and So anyway, and I could tell Alicent was looking a little like, in her, like, I like her, but I can't, I'm a little suspicious of Alicent, because she almost seems like she's been cozying up to the king, but does she really like the king? I mean, he's like way older than her. She's, older than fucking Lena or whatever her name is, but she's still pretty young, like a teenager. Is she into him? I don't think so. I think she's more into the throne, into the power, into becoming queen. That's kind of my own thoughts here, is that she kind of wants to be queen. She wants the power and maybe even sit on the throne herself, you know what I'm saying? Maybe. But anyway, she's Rhaenyra's best friend. They're always, spending time together, talking about everything, like how friends do and stuff. And so anyway, the king brings the council together, announces, I'm getting married. And Corlys is there, everybody's there. Fucking Rhaenyra's there, everybody's there. Otto, everybody. Oh, and Otto's, by the way, Hightower. Otto Hightower is Alicent's dad, Alicent Hightower. Otto's her dad, so. Anyway, the king announces he's getting married, and everybody's like, oh shit. But Rhaenyra's like, yeah, I know. You're going to marry Lena. But then he kind of looks around, looks at Alicent. He's like, I'm marrying Alicent Hightower. And everybody's like, oh, damn. Oh, shit. Like, what the fuck? And then Rhaenyra's pissed. Like, that's my best friend, now she's in an awkward position because Rhaenyra's supposed to be heir. But now Alicent's going to be her stepmom, basically, and be the queen. And then probably give heirs to the king. Maybe a boy is going to be the ruler eventually. You see what I'm saying? Now there's all this conflict, and they were best friends. Are they going to still be best friends? Probably not, but maybe. I don't know. But there's definitely now a little tension there, if you can imagine. Just a little. So, man, all that happened, and it's like, damn. And then Corlys, now he's pissed, because the king just rejected his offer to marry his daughter and unite the houses. So now that's the second time Corliss's family has been rejected, being like, because his wife, she was supposed, it was between Viserys and his wife, I can't remember her name off the top of my head, to be the next heir. And the previous, the previous king chose Viserys over Corliss's wife, the queen that never was. And that's kind of where she got the nickname, because she's the queen that never was. So that's the second time. So now Corlys is pissed, dude. And he's just like, yo. So at the end of the episode, you see him in a meeting with Daemon. You're like, oh, shit. This is getting spicy. And I was like, oh, this is so good. So Corlys and Daemon now are teaming up, making a little alliance to make a move. And that's basically where the episode left off. So, I mean, storytelling at its best, dude. It was all just posturing, drama, storytelling, and it was badass. I mean, I gave it a 10 out of 10. I thought it was that good. I'm not, super critic or whatever. I tend to give out, my scores really kind of generously, so take it for what you will. But I thought it was a really freaking good episode. Badass. And like I said, there was no action, no explosions, bombs, dragons, breathing fire, none of that shit. There was dragons, but they didn't really do shit. They just flew around. So I still thought it was badass because it was just building for the next, excuse me, it's basically setting up for the rest of the season, kind of giving us that direction. So now we got this story, and we're going to see how it plays out in the coming episodes and, the rest of the season, really, because big things just happened. So, woo, this shit was good. It was spicy. It was just tension-filled. Like I said, I was on the edge of my seat the whole episode. It was crazy. So, storytelling, top notch, really good. And everything else, like the production value of the show, top notch, really, really good. The music, freaking amazing. And this episode, the first time we actually got the opening sequence, the opening theme, the credit scene. And it was the old Game of Thrones theme, but spiced up a little bit. And ooh, it was so good, dude. It gave me the freaking goosebumps, you know what I'm saying? It was good. And so the music's good. It always builds the right amount of tension or sets the mood. Like there's one scene where Viserys is just about to announce he's marrying Alicent, but before he does, he's kind of looking out the window, and the music just matches his mood perfectly. And it's like, ooh, it was really good scene. So far, man, everything's top notch for this show. They're doing a hell of a job. It's really, really good. Best show on right now, in my opinion. So. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Like I said, 10 out of 10, man. Take it for what you will. Coming from me, who the hell am I? But I thought it was good. So I'm definitely going to be, I am super excited for episode 3. I can't wait. If you haven't seen the preview for the episode 3, go check out my video, man. I covered the preview for episode 3, man. It looks bad ass. This episode, episode 3, it looks like we're going to get some action and some fucking dragons breathing fire, killing people and fighting and all kinds of cool shit. So, anyway, episode 2, brilliant. Really good, man. I'm loving this show so far. House of the Dragon, my new favorite show, guys. So, hope it is for you guys too. Hope you're enjoying it as much as I am. And if you are, and you enjoy this review, please like and subscribe, man. I really appreciate it. It helps me out. Just smash that like button. I'm not going to sit here and beg for it. I'm just doing this for fun. So I'm just having fun, dude, watching this show. So, hey, hope you guys are too. I love y'all. And I guess I will see you on the next one, or see you Sunday for episode 3, baby. Psyched. So hope you guys have a great one, man. Take care. Peace.